Members of the media, elected and appointed officials, members of the public, thank you all for coming here today. My name is Reagan Freitag. I'm on the county board and I'm chair of Capital Improvements Project. We're here today because a lot has changed since 1969 in Will County. Back then, residents paid 35 cents for a gallon of gas. The average home cost $15,000 and the average income was $8,500. A man landed on the moon for the first time, and the courthouse behind me was built. It was one giant leap for our county. But Will County was a different place then, with a population of only 250,000. Today it's nearly 700,000 and growing. Our county has indeed experienced significant growth in the past 46 years. And this courthouse is ground zero for those growing pains. When it was first built, the courthouse contained all of Will County offices and the meeting room for the Will County Board. Today, that is no longer the case, and we are now using the vast majority of the space for the 23 courtrooms that we have, and have 6 more in another Will County building. Nearly 1 million people will pass through the halls of a courthouse that was designed to handle much less. As an attorney, I regularly work in this courthouse. I see firsthand how the lack of necessary space and modern security are slowing down the wheels of justice. Safety is our concern. In fact, this courthouse does not meet the minimum standards for safety and security as set by the Illinois Supreme Court. Something must be done. Prior to me taking over chair of Capitol, Chuck Maher and Denise Winfrey were chair of Capitol. I wouldn't be standing here but for them. They've laid the foundation, and we are going to continue to work together to build a new courthouse. Today, we are here to announce a significant step forward in building a new courthouse for the citizens of Will County. This is not a project that can be accomplished without the help and cooperations of all the stakeholders. The county has a long-standing relationship with the City of Joliet, and we are pleased with what we have accomplished working together. This project will be no exception. With that, I'd like to introduce the Joliet Mayor, Bob Odekirk.
Thank you, Reagan. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming out today. It's a great day. When I was elected, when I took office last May, I identified the courthouse as being a project that had languished that needed to be seen through to completion. I reached out to fellow councilman John Gurl, who's a former county board member. Myself and John contacted Will County officials, starting with Executive Larry Walsh. We met with Will County official Reagan Freitag and Mike Frissalone and various other people, and began negotiating to get this done. I want to thank all those individuals. I want to thank John Gurl for the big role he played in this. I want to thank my city council for being open-minded and reasonable with a couple different counteroffers. I'm happy to say that the new courthouse is going to be built here in downtown Joliet. It's going to serve as an anchor in Joliet going forward. This is a great day for Will County. It's a great day for Joliet. And I think it's good for people to know that this is how government works, when different governing bodies can work together for the good of the people. So thank you again for coming out today.
Thank you, Bob. Next, I'd like to introduce our speaker, Jim Eustace.
Hey, Jim. Well, good morning, everyone. You know, this is truly a great day. It's the next step in building a new courthouse, a true public safety issue for Will County. You know, I travel a lot, visit a lot of counties, and you know, this is the old town square. Actually, this is kind of a concept of a town square. And what is always the center point in the town square? The courthouse. It truly is the people's house. And we need to make it a safe place to come to. Much of what goes on in the courthouse, the most visited building in Will County, I might add, over 800,000 people visit this building every year. It's kind of an antiquated building. I think we got our money's worth, but this is truly a public safety issue. We need to go forward. We will go forward. We will build something we can afford. We will not raise taxes to do it. and I think we are now on course. I'm hoping for a 2018 groundbreaking, and when we get started, that would be our schedule. And I thank everyone for coming, but remember, the courthouse is the people's house. This is for all the people of Will County. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce our executive, Larry Walsh.
Well, good morning, everyone. Great day in the county seat of Will, Joliet, Illinois. And first off, I would like to say congratulations to thank Reagan Freitag and the finance chairman, Mike Frizzalone, for their hard work and persistence in trying to work out a compromise with the city of Joliet. The best thing that has taken place here is the fact that two governmental entities sat at the table and worked out their differences and came up with a doable plan that is going to help bring the creation of a badly needed new county courthouse right here in downtown Joliet. And I know what this building, the courthouse in downtown Joliet, means to Joliet and means to the livelihood of downtown. So Mayor Odekirk and your council, thank you for being willing to discuss and partnership and collaborate with us, and that we are going to get this project going. And I want to thank Chief Judge Shane Stead. Ever since he became the Chief Judge, the priority of building a new courthouse has been #1 with him, and he's worked very diligently in conversation with county board members and other people, city council members, in order to get the point across how important it is for us to move forward on this. So a great day, the first step taking place, that we can see the end of the tunnel may be coming. As Mr. Musta says, it might be another 4 years until we move in, but you can't end the race without taking the first step, and that's what we're doing here today. So thanks everybody that all participated. My good friend John Girl on City Council, who also did a yeoman's job in the negotiations, and Jim Hawk. So everybody played a role, and that's what is important. That we all sat down, like I said, and worked out our differences and came up with a doable plan that's going to work. Thanks, everybody.
Speaking of the Chief Judge, next I'd like to introduce Chief Judge Rick Shainstead.
Thanks, Ray. Thank you. Thank you all. On behalf of the 12th Judicial Circuit, which encompasses all of Will County, we just want to say thank you to all of the county leadership, county executive, county board, and Joliet's leadership, their mayor and their city council, for putting us in this position right now. This is a very important next step, so that very soon we hope that ground will be broken on a courthouse right over there in downtown Joliet that will serve the needs of the entire county for years and years to come. We do need, everybody understands the need for a courthouse that will be safe, secure, and efficient, that will replace this courthouse, who is none of those things, but we do the best we can with what we have. But we thank everybody for their hard work in getting this job done. It's a very important step to a full-size courthouse in downtown Joliet. And again, thank you all very much. Thank you all also to all the labor and business who are here to support these projects. So thank you very much.
Next, I'd like to introduce former Chair of Capitol, Chuck Mayer.
Thank you very much, Reagan and Mike. You know, we started this process a number of years ago. In fact, I was talking with John Girl before the meeting here today, and we were remembering sitting with folks from Joliet here and the county down at the baseball field and sitting there discussing what we could do to get this courthouse and other things going on in downtown Joliet. Because we have gone to spent the last 10 years really looking at the whole county and taking a look at what we could do. The courthouse became and rose to the top as one of those high priorities because of the health and safety needs of this community. The other thing that's happening here that Mike and Reagan are helping to facilitate is jobs. The jobs that this brings to this area is not just those jobs of building the building, but the white collar jobs, blue collar jobs. Everybody's going to be impacted by the work that has been done here. And so I just want to take a few minutes to thank our new leadership at our county board and the new leadership here in Joliet to bring this together and make this work. So thank you very much. Have a great day and enjoy the weekend.
Speaking of new jobs, we spoke with John Grueling, and looking at about a $150 million project, we can hope for about 500 to 600 jobs. And I would thank all of labor for being here, because this is very important to us and very important to them. So this is not just a partnership with Joliet, but it's a partnership with labor. And I want to thank all the judges too, because I know that they have stood behind us and pushed this project as well. I would introduce Mike Frizzalone and John Gurl if anyone has any questions.
John, your name is being brought up a lot, so hit us with it. How much money is changing hands? How frequently? What's the schedule?
Sure. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming. I also want to thank my colleagues on the City Council as well. This is truly a great day for the City of Joliet. What this does, it basically solidifies the southern end of our business district down here in the City of Joliet. We're going to have about $150 to $170 million courthouse. It's going to guarantee that that facility stays there in Joliet, that there's going to be thousands of people that are going to be visiting that courthouse. They're going to patronize our businesses down here. And there's a lot of exciting things that are going on in Joliet right now, not just the courthouse, but also Joliet Junior Colleges are going to continue with their build out. We got a lot of exciting things going on the west side of Joliet, 55 and 80. There's going to be we've got a big multi-facility industrial, commercial, multifamily facility going out there. So there's a lot of exciting things. And this really is I want to say the cherry on top of the ice cream. And we're so excited. I want to thank all the county board members, Mike Frizzalone, Reagan Freitag, Jim Moostis, Chuck Mayer, who's here, Suzanne Hart is here as well. I know Denise Winfrey and Herb Brooks are here. I want to thank all of them for coming out today and showing confidence in the City of Joliet to build a facility, a state-of-the-art facility, about $150 to $170 million courthouse here in Joliet. That shows confidence in downtown, and I want to thank them for that. And also I know that Don Moran is here as well, who's also representative of labor, and want to thank all of our friends in labor that are here today and the business community. As Chuck Mayer had said, this is not only going to be about construction jobs, but it's going to maintain those white-collar jobs that are here as well. So we're thankful for that. But as far as the deal, the tentative deal, what the city has partnered with the county on is that whenever the courthouse facility breaks ground, 2017 or 2018 or so, the city has committed $500,000 a year for 20 years, so about $10 million. And we feel that that is a fair number for both parties. And like I said, it's gonna ensure that the courthouse, which is an anchor to the City of Joliet, I think Jim Moose had mentioned it, it's a focal point, it's a civic center, it's a center point, is going to remain in downtown Joliet, and we're very excited about that.
Beside the $10 million, there's also $2.3 million in tap-on fees and permitting fees, so the whole package is about $12,300,000 worth to add to this project.
You're talking about $2.3 million in tap-on fees the city will collect.
In city permit fees that they're going to waive.
We're going to waive, right.
Beside
right.
the $10 million.
And we view that investment as an investment in economic development, because this is a huge project that's going to solidify our southern business district downtown Joliet.
Chairman Freitag, you said you work in the building all the time. Talk about the issues. You're talking about security, about how crowded it is. Give me examples of how that's needed. What are you feeling as you go in there and deal with it?
Well, I mean, every day you usually see a line out here. Fridays are a little light day, but usually you'll see lines out here, people waiting, sometimes all the way to the train station, especially in our cold winters. You know, that's not very convenient or comfortable for our citizens. Then our security issues. We have defendants, probation officers, state's attorneys, lawyers, judges, all traveling in the same elevator. That's not safe. In regards to efficiency, the judges do an amazing job. The clerks, the bailiffs, and the deputies in making it as efficient as possible for what they have. But court dates are extended. There's continuances. There's waiting to have a trial, even though your trial date trial time is maybe 9 o'clock, you may not start your trial till 11. But, the legal community understands that, but it shouldn't be that way. So that's what we need to change.
You're saying even trials have to be moved along and pushed off for any amount of time, whether it's days or weeks or whatever, because of the fact that the space is not always available?
They are continued. I mean, again, that's as long as it's agreed upon by the parties or whatever. But we all of us together try to convenience everyone. But things could, people could get trials earlier.
That's the Chief Judge did.
Yeah.
He can really address it.
Yeah.
Thank you. What Reagan says is correct. The courthouse that was built here was built to handle only a handful of defendants in custody, for instance, every day. There was one elevator that took custodies to the 3rd and 4th floor. We now have, the sheriff can confirm this, but we now have almost 100 custodies per day coming into that courthouse. They all have to go on one elevator. The back hallways are only about 4.5 feet wide, where the shackled custodies have to go around the back of the courtrooms to get their respective courtrooms, and they have to pass potentially jurors, judges, witnesses, clerks. It's just not safe or secure. That's one example. Another example is that we don't have enough courtrooms. By law, by the statute, we have a right to ask for a new associate judge for every 35,000 new population from one census to the next. We had a right to 5 more with the growth that we had in the 2010 census, because we grew by 175,000 residents from 2000 to 2010. We expect that growth, although it has slowed down, it is still happening in Will County. We are short right now 2 associate judges because we don't have the space for them. So what Reagan says is correct. People come in to have their cases heard, and a lot of times they're sent away because they have to be continued because the judge is too busy doing something else. So those are just a couple of the examples, I think, that addresses your question.
Judge, between now and when we break ground in about 2018, are we sure of the exact place, like the bank site? Are we sure of the exact size? Are we sure of the architectural firm? Where do we go from here?
No. In fact, there are several scenarios out there right now, but some of that is certainly dependent on finishing the funding sources and at the same time working with the designers to figure out what we need and what we don't need, and building what would be adequate for everybody, not only now, but for some period of time into the future. So,
The designers who've done this before?
Pardon me?
Are you looking to a designer who's done this before? Put up a courthouse, done security, those kinds of things?
yes, absolutely. Right now, White & Company's done a great job over the last year plus to help program the spacing needs that we have for the new courthouse. And now the next step is the actual design and size and of the structure itself. So that's now coming, but that's hand in hand with what funding is available.
Speaker earlier today, actually just moments ago, you said that you guys have no plans to raise taxes to fund this project. Could you go over some of the revenue sources?
There is various revenue sources. Certainly there will be a bonding, will be bonded out. I think we're committed to not to exceed 150 million and still meet our needs. Like all our bond issues, there is never a specific revenue stream that is specified to say this revenue stream is for this bond or this project. It is all the revenues that are committed in essence, of the county.
Sell bonds to pay for the building, correct?
Correct.
Right, and so you must have some sources identified for where that money's going to come from to be repaid.
It would basically be a number of different revenue streams that would support the bond issue.
One being the City of Joliet.
Well, one could be RTA, one would be partly some of the property tax levy. In last year's levy that was passed, there was a little over a $2 million increase in the levy that was committed for capital projects only, not to be used in operations. So we know that revenue stream's there. The RTA tax can also be used for public safety. So there would be part of that. There's a judicial fee that'll probably grow up to about $1 million. That'll be committed. Chief Judge has committed some of the parking lot revenue. So I mean,
there's also a new revenue stream with the City of Joliet contributing.
The Joliet revenue. We have sales tax revenue. We have fee revenue. All I can tell you is in the past, we have not committed any real estate taxes for bonding. In this particular case, there will be probably about $2.5 million that'll be come from property taxes. When it comes to debt ratio, this county is by far, per capita, has the least debt ratio in any collar counties. I'd almost venture to say any county in Illinois, but I can't count all these little downstate counties. But we by far, our debt ceiling, our debt level per capita is far less than any other collar counties and Cook County. So we've been very prudent in how we've borrowed money, and only when it's necessary for very important projects. So, and we'll continue that policy. I said we will not increase taxes. We will not increase taxes. We do have some growing revenue streams, primarily some sales tax, but we also have our fee revenues go up and so forth. We're fortunate that we're not dependent on the state of Illinois. Even though we do get revenue from the state, there is the replacement tax, which is actually our portion of the income tax. We fully expect that and anticipate that will be cut, and that's already being looked at. So,
I was County Executive Walsh's call yesterday for having cash reserves in the RTA fund.
well, let me say this, and I don't want to be contrary with the county executive. I think the term cash reserve is probably not what we're looking for, but certainly to preserve the RTA tax primarily for infrastructure, road infrastructure. I agree that we have to make sure that a substantial portion of that, and the major portion of that, will stay for roads. So.
Can anybody more specifically say when the groundbreaking would be?
Every year you spend about $27 million on average on RTA. The tentative plan right now is to take about 20% of RTA funding, at least up to. Right now you're using that $27 million just to maintain roads and bridges. Are you concerned at all about?
No. We also have about $100 million in cash for roads sitting there. If you want to talk about cash reserves, there's already probably close to $100 million there. Sure. We don't accumulate it just to accumulate it. It'll be for road projects, but we can only spend so much on roads. We spend about $30 million on road projects a year. We rarely exceed that. So if we already have 3 years worth of projects reserved, how much more do you think we need to reserve? I mean, I think we do have proper reserving for roads, and our road construction will continue. But public safety is just as important, and this is truly a public safety issue. You all want to think about a courthouse maybe being for criminals. There's more civil cases here. The everyday people come here. They come for all kinds of reasons. When there's custody, for example, litigations going on here. I want a safe place for people to come. If they have to bring their kids here, I want a safe place for their kids. What nobody really mentioned when they talked about the courthouse is you all go in there. Those hallways are packed. It is not a environment that makes you feel very safe. and I'm sure you go in the courthouse. All the reporters, I'm sure, go. So we need to create a safe environment for the everyday person, for the people of Will County, for when they have to come here to do business. So, and that's what we're doing. Like I mentioned, this is the people's house. It's not the criminal house. It's the people's house. And it's an important project. And this gets priority. When you want to talk about resources, and that's what you're asking me about, this is the #1 priority for us. I think this is #1 priority should be the #1 priority for the people. And by the way, we've put over $200 million in roads in the last 8 years. You show me another county outside of Cook that has done that. You know, so so plenty of money will go for roads. And when you ask me about revenue, and I mentioned the RTA, it's just a source, along with sales tax, property tax, fees, all the revenues that are available to the county are on the table.
Could somebody be a little more specific about when you might expect groundbreaking and when you'd like to see completion?
I would seriously doubt if you would see groundbreaking prior to 2018. We are in the design phase. By the way, you ask about location. You know, Joliet wouldn't be giving us $12 million if we weren't staying here, would they? So I think it'll be over there. That's what we have pegged as the site, where the old First Midwest Bank building. We occupy that building now. Our sheriff department is in that building. And we will go forward and build a new sheriff's facility on Laraway, another public safety issue, much solar project. We might not even have to bond for that one. But construction, I would say you could probably see site work maybe in 2018. I would look at a 3-year construction cycle, 3 construction seasons for it to be completed. Could be 2. A lot of it depends on timing. But let's say I'm going to go what I think is the max. So I think you'll see occupancy of a new courthouse probably in 2021.
Hey, John Girl, can you tell us a little more about the city commitment to this project? It's going to be 12.3 all told, 230 from the building permit waiver part of it, and then $500,000 a year for 10 years. Where will 20 years, excuse me, where will the money come from the city?
Well, the $2.3 million, obviously, it's a waiver of fees, so that won't come from anywhere. It'll just be dollars that we don't have. We'll just be waiving those fees. Excuse me. The $500,000 per year, you know, we believe is going to fit into our operating budget. Last year, or for the 2014, we just received our audit report. We had a nice surplus. Our fund balance went up about $3.5 million. And with all the excitement, all the development that's going on within the city of Joliet, we think that this $500,000 will fit right into our operating budget.
But what about things that are unknown? For example, casino revenue, what the state might do for the income tax portion the city receives. All those are kind of unknowns right now.
Sure, and those are things that could occur at any time, at any point. We try and plan for those as best we can. But we can't stop economic development in the city of Joliet because there's a lot of unknowns. You just mentioned 2, but there's also a lot of positive things that are going on as well. And you can't, your knees can't knock just because something might go wrong. You have to continue on. You have to continue to invest in yourself. I thought Chairman Mustis made a great point: is that we don't rely on the state of Illinois. And we don't rely on the state of Illinois and the city of Joliet either. We try and control our own destiny, and this is one example of doing that. And I want to thank not only the city council, but specifically Mayor Odekirk on the city of Joliet by taking the lead on this. He came in, he recognized this was an important project, and he saw it through, and I think he deserves a lot of credit there for that. So.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, sure.